Just gave me goosebumps.
I know. I know. It's like I'm still feeling it.
Hi there. You're watching The Light of Care, the podcast about our company, FirstLight Home Care of San Francisco and the Peninsula. Our goal is to provide comfort, company, and respite care to elders in need. This podcast aims to educate seniors and their families about the resources and support available to help. Today I'm here with Evelyn Subido, co-founder of Soleil Hospice. She will help us understand what hospice truly is, when it might be the right choice, and how it can bring comfort and dignity to the patients and their families. Welcome to the show, Evelyn.
Thank you.
So tell us about your background and what inspired the founding of Soleil Hospice.
Okay, so I started in a skilled nursing facility as my first healthcare position. And then I was recruited by Vitas Healthcare at that time. And hospice, I said, I don't know about hospice because I really didn't know anything about hospice. But then again, I thought about it. Maybe it is a calling because my mom was on hospice prior to that. So I have the experience and I really know how it feels to have someone die in front of you and what hospice was all about.
That's a great story. You know, we interview a lot of people on this podcast, and it seems it's very interesting to me because everybody that I ask the same question to, how'd you get into this industry and this business and their particular piece of that industry, all say family.
Right.
They all had their experiences with their families, and that's what drove them to be a part of this. I think it's really incredible. So for those people who don't really understand what hospice is, when they hear it, especially a patient, they get scared.
Right.
So I'm hoping that you can explain hospice so it's not scary to the patient and families.
I have to talk to the family first and find out exactly what is it about mom or dad, what's going on. Do you know anything about what's going on with mom and dad? And basically, I go from there and kind of talk to them in a normal way where I show compassion and empathetic way. So what I'll tell them is it's really for family as well, not just for the patient. So there's free of stress. And for me, from my experience, I didn't want hospice initially with my mom because of what I've heard, But then again, after thinking about it, when we did decide, my sister and I, we could not have done without the nurse coming in every day, So thinking of that and then talking to people and families, I just tell them about my experience and it will calm them down and make sure that, they're comfortable about it.
I think a lot of people don't realize that hospice isn't the last day of their life. It's a process. And that's also what I want you to explain. I want you to explain those misconceptions and why people only think of hospice as the last day, but it's actually a process. So could you detail that for me?
So everyone thinks that hospice is only for cancer patients, but it's not.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, because it's for whatever prognosis a patient has for 6 months or less, but it doesn't mean that the patient will die tomorrow. And sometimes patients will graduate from hospice. So what we do is we provide them the transition to home health where they get therapy
or caregiving, like we do a lot of graduates of hospice.
And then they think that they have to go to a facility. No, wherever the home is, that's where hospice will go.
What is the right time for a hospice provider to come in and take care of a loved one?
So the right time is, of course, when you notice that your loved ones is always going to the hospital. So we call that frequent flyers. They're consistently, every day. That's another experience I had with my dad. He would be discharged today, and tonight he goes back to the hospital. Every day. So that's something for the doctor and the nurses in the hospital to talk to the family that it is time, because of what's going on with your loved ones. At the same time, it's also advanced dementia. that people don't think about, that, you can check and ask the doctor what's going on with my mom, because there's a lot of different ways that you can talk to the doctor what's going on with your mom or dad.
Aren't they kind of the ones that recommend it? Like, do they? I can't imagine that a family would just call you directly. Like, I feel like a lot of what you do is referrals from hospitals.
Hospitals or skilled
Skilled
nursing
nursing,
facility,
yeah.
or assisted living.
Right.
But there are some doctors that are not, because they want to cure the patient, especially in cancer patients. But if the patient cannot, survive anymore with all the chemotherapy, a lot of times they just give up, right? And the doctors don't want that, of course, because doctors want to make sure that they thrive.
Right.
Yeah, but actually
save
they're
the
in
life.
a lot of in a lot of pain.
Oh,
So
that's so interesting. Walk us through a first week of hospice.
So what we do is we have an RN that will assess the patient to see
Okay.
if the patient qualifies for hospice.
Okay.
And then after that, we order the DMEs, which is a dual medical equipment, the bed, the whatever it is that they need, overbed table, commodes, and we also order the supplies. And then the RNs will be the one to assess and see how many times an RN and LVN will visit the patient. There's a spiritual support, bereavement support, not just the home health aide or the RN and LVN. There are other items that hospice can provide to the family. I remembered someone mentioned to our nurse, I want to go to the beach before I pass. So
Just gave me goosebumps.
I know. I know, it's like I'm still feeling it. So of course we said yes, drove the patient to the beach, and the patient just wanted to just feel the air and watch the ocean and the sun, so that's kind of heartwarming.
That is so awesome. For families and seniors that are listening today, what's the most important step that they can take now to be prepared, whether they need hospice soon or years from now?
Well, I think they have to, a lot of times families decline hospice because they're not ready, but then they have to think it's the patient that needs it. The patient is the one that needs to be ready. And the decision is always with the family, because a lot of times the patient can't make decisions anymore. So that's what they have to think. So they have to really research and find out exactly what hospice is all about. It's a support for them, not just for the patient.
Well, I can't thank you enough for all this information. These are scary things for people who are not in the industry like we are. So I'm so grateful for you to come and explain really what hospice is. And it's not a scary, crazy word. It's helpful, and you gave a lot of really good information. How will viewers or listeners get a hold of you? You can just talk about your website, your phone number, whatever you want to, and don't forget your name.
So, my name is Evelyn Subido. The name of my company is Soleil Hospice, and we have a website, www.soleilhospice.com. But also, if you want to connect with us and find out more information, you email us at info@soleilhospice.com, or call me personally. I can answer any calls.
Put your number out there if you want to.
650-235-0062 is my cell phone number.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank
for having
you
me
so
today.
much.
Yes, I appreciate
We really
it.
appreciate you being here. We've got more interviews on the way. For now, a huge thank you to my team involved in bringing this podcast to life. For more information, check out our website at FirstLightHomeCare.com. Follow us on social media pages. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.